Hi everyone, welcome to Korean Express YouTube channel. Mastering various Korean grammar concepts is the key to speaking naturally and fluently. So, in this video, we learn how to say per in Korean language. It may seem like a small word, but since it is commonly used in daily conversations, understanding this grammar point becomes very essential. Okay, so basically, today we are going to learn how to say per in Korean. It is a very small word, but because it is used commonly in our daily conversations, so yes, it becomes very important for us to understand how to say per in Korean. Okay, all right. Now, in this video, we are going to learn how to say things like twice per day or four times per month in Korean language using a very simple and yet very important Korean particle. Again, we have particles here. So, particles, I have told earlier also, they are very commonly used in Korean language and they are a very essential part of Korean grammar. You will find a particle in each and every Korean sentence. That is mandatory, right? So, now without wasting any time, let's move ahead and understand how to say per in Korean language. So, the particle a is used to express how often something happens within a specific time period, which means it is used to indicate the frequency of an action in a given time frame. Now, if you remember, we have already discussed the usage of this particle a as a time particle and as a location particle. Now, here again, we are using this particle to express how often something is happening in a given time period. Okay? And therefore it can be translated as per in English. Now, let's look at the structure for using the particle a for this particular purpose, in which you have to say per in Korean language. Okay, so the structure is first comes the time period, day, month, year, week, whatever. Then you have to attach the particle a to that time period. Then comes the number and then comes the counter, okay, following the number. All right, I know if you just look at the structure, it becomes a bit confusing, but when we see example sentences, it becomes easier for us to remember this structure and to understand how we have to frame sentences using this particular structure. Okay, so for example, if you have to say four times per month, then in Korean, it is going to be 한 달에 네 번. First, you have to say per month, which means 한 달. Okay? Now, 한 달 is the time period. Per month or 1 month, you can say. So, 한 달 is the time period. Then you have to attach the particle 에 to say per month. Okay? Then comes the number. Number is 4. 4 is 네. And then comes the counter. So the counter that is used to count the number of times something happens. For that, the counter that we use is pon. So here something is happening four times. So we say 네 pon. So four times per month, 한 달에 네 번. All right. Now, let's look at some example sentences to understand how to use phrases which include per in them in various Korean sentences. Okay, then only you'll be able to understand their practical usage in conversation in our day-to-day life. All right. Okay, here we go. The first example is I drink coffee twice per day. In Korean, this is going to be 저는 커피를 하루에 두 번 마셔요. I is 저는, coffee is 커피, and to drink 마시다, present tense 마셔요. Okay? Now you have to say twice per day. Now, per day means in a single day, you drink coffee 2 times. Okay? So, one day in Korean is indicated as haru. It is a common way to say one day. So, one day, haru, haru에, per day, 하루에, twice per day, 하루에 2번. Two is two, and you have to say 2 times or twice. For that, we use the particle 번. So, you do something twice per day. So, for per day, we use 하루에, and for twice, we use 2번. Okay, so this is how you use this particular phrase twice per day in this sentence and frame the remaining sentence accordingly. It becomes very easy for you once you understand how to use the particle a in order to frame sentences like this where you have to say per day. Okay, here if you look at the structure, first comes the time period, one day or day, a single day, haru. You attach the particle a to it, it becomes per day. Then comes the number, two, and then comes the counter, pon. Okay? All right. Next example is I clean my house 3 times per week. Now, there are 2 ways to say this sentence and 4 ways to write this sentence. Okay? So, in Korean, one way to say this sentence is 저는 집을 일주일에 3번 청소해요. Okay? Here, I is 저는, house is 집. To clean, 청소하다, present tense 청소해요. Now you have to say 3 times per week. Okay. Now week in Korean is 주. 1 week, 일주. Per week, 일주에. 3 times, 세 번. Very simple. Okay, so first comes the time period, 일주. Then comes the particle 에. Then comes the number 3, 세. And then comes the counter, 번. 3 times per week, 일주에 세 번. Okay? Now, another way to write the sentence is by using 1, numeral 1, instead of this word for 1, il. Okay, in Korean, 1 is il. In the Sino-Korean number system, to be precise, 1 is il. So, either you can use the word for the number 1, that is il, or you can use the numeral itself. And another way to write this sentence or to say this sentence is 저는 집을 일주일에 3번 청소해요. Here, I is 저는, house is 집, to clean, 청소하다, present tense, 청소해요. Now, you have to say 3 times per week. The only difference that lies between these two sentences is that in the first case, we have used 주 for week, and in the second case, we have used 주일 for week. Okay, both of these words, they can be used for week, although the common way to say week in Korean is 주. Okay, so here we have used 주일 to say week in Korean. So 1 week, 일주일. Per week, 일주일에. And 3 times is 세 번. Very simple. Here also, in the first sentence, we have used the word il, and in the second sentence, we have used the numeral number 1. So, once you get the complete format for using such phrases in Korean sentences, it will become super easy for you to frame a sentence. Next comes a couple of examples. I come to the library 4 times per month. 저는 도서관에 한 달에 4번 와요. I is 저는 library 도서관. To come 오다 present tense 와요. 4 times per month. So month is 달. 1 month 한 달. Per month 한 달에. 4 times 네 번. Very simple. 4 times per month 한 달에 4번. First comes the time period, then comes the particle a, then comes the number, and then comes the counter. Next is I go on a trip once per year. 저는 여행을 1년에 한 번 가요. I is 저는 trip 여행. To go 가다 present tense 가요. Do you have to say once per year? Year is 년. 1 year 1년. Per year 1년에. Now once or one time. For that we use the phrase 한 번. Okay? So once per year 1년에 한 번. So in this sentence we've used the word for number 1 in Korean language, that is il, particularly in the Sino-Korean number system. And in the second sentence we have used the numeral form of 1. Okay? So if you use the word, then there has to be a space between il and nyon. And if we use the number, then there is no need to put a space between 1 and nyon. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. Now you know how to say per day, per week, and even per year in Korean language. So what are you waiting for? Try making your own sentences using the particle a. If you found this video helpful, then please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe Korean Express YouTube channel for more Korean language lessons. Thank you.